Hi, Arshi.
Hi.
So this is so nice connecting with you. We have been hearing a lot about you these days, about your financial report.
Thank you. It's lovely connecting with you too.
Yeah,
So, and congratulations on your
thank you. Thank you so much. And congrats to you as well. It's a pleasure that we both were featured in the same blog.
I know that's amazing.
Yeah. So the objective would be we'll drill down your financial report today. Let's first start with our introductions. So hi guys, I'm Achal Soni. I work with LTI Mindtree right now as a data engineering specialist, and my base location is Pune. Arshi, can you please give your introduction?
Definitely. Hi, I'm Arshi Saleh, and I'm located in Kolkata. I'm a freelance Tableau developer, and I also volunteer as a Tableau educator for a data garden project, which is a community which believes in empowering young girls to code. So
All right, that's great. So we'll drop the link of this community in this post so that users can go and check this out.
definitely.
All right.
So, yeah,
So we'll start
yeah, because
the uh, with understanding of your financial report. And let's get started with understanding how did you come up with choosing this specific data set and what all included in your research.
actually there is a community challenge which is called Onyx Data Challenge, and it's usually they share the data set on the first of every month, and you're given around 20 to 25 days. It depends. Some months it's 22 days, some months it's 24. So they share the timeline along with the project details, the data set, and everything, and they have each month they have a new data set, and it's basically business dashboards. So if somebody and these are I would say very beginner friendly data sets, so not very complicated. If someone is very new in their journey, they also can very and they also don't have a limitation on what kind of tools you are using. So it doesn't matter if it's Tableau or it's Power BI or anything else. So you can use that. And another very interesting thing is that they also share a small brief on their expectations from the report. So that's kind of a great starting point, especially for someone who is very new to business dashboards. So maybe I can share their page with you, and that'd be great. Just give me a second. Achal, you'll have to enable the screen sharing
Yes, yes,
if you don't mind.
yes, you have it now.
Thank you. So can you see the challenge page?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what it looks like. You can click on the participate button, and it'll take you to the small form. I'll show it how it looks like, but let me take you through this page first. So who can participate? They don't have any limitation, anybody. It can be professional, students, anybody. Uh, a little bit of the details on what you win like, if you win, then what all gifts you can get, and importantly, the timeline. So for this month, 24th was the deadline for all the entries. Each month, the deadline is different. different. So just come to this page and you can check it out. You can read the regulations, how to participate, what are their expectations. There is a form which you can use to submit it, and of course, how they will be evaluating it. So I think it's a great starting point for anybody who is getting into dashboard designing.
Of course, of course. It's very
Yeah.
important to solve a few challenges because they give you a glimpse of, real time challenges that
Yes.
away.
And also, these are like there are a lot of data sets. In fact, Tableau has this superstore data set, but it's been explored a lot. If you want to try out new data sets, which are like not among the very popular ones, and like will test your skill level a little more, then I think this is a great place to start. And you just need to enter your name and email address and whatever tool you're going to be using. As you can see, they have a lot of options,
Mm.
and you'll be able to download the data set. So I think this is I mean, I personally have, I think, taken part in at least 4 to 5 of these challenges. And for the last 3 months, I've been taking part in each and every challenge because I decided that I need to uh, work on at least one dashboard each month. That was kind of like a self set target.
Right.
So I think this is a great place to start, you know. And also, there are a lot of entries, amazing entries. So once you are done, you can always go and check out the entries, see what they have done,
Mm.
and it's kind of a gallery to see what other things you could have tried out, or you can always go back and make changes in your submit, like in your dashboard.
Right.
So yeah,
We
so
do
this is how I got to.
Yeah,
Yeah, so this is, and you also have archived data sets in case you don't want to take part in the challenge, but you just need a data set to try out.
right. And after you submit your entry, and when all the entries are available, it's important to go and check what other people have developed
Definitely,
because you get
definitely.
to learn
Because
a
you,
lot.
yeah, you get to learn a lot. You get to see a lot of different viewpoints, how different people handle the same data sets. So
Right.
yeah, it's amazing. And of course, there will be winning entries, so you can always go back and check them out and see what exactly was the, uh, I mean, what exactly was the special thing that made them win, or what where exactly they went right. I think it's a great way to challenge yourself. I think this is a great starting place for anybody who's really working on dashboard designing, and uh, is doesn't wants new data sets each month, but
Mm.
not something very, very complicated. So yeah, I
Right.
would highly recommend trying this out.
Okay. So are these data sets already prepared, the one which you have used in your financial report as well? Was that
Yes.
given in the right format, which you can use in your BI tool, or did you have to do any preparation?
Yeah, so for this data set, not much preparation was needed. But for this particular the waterfall chart, there was some data modeling involved. So basically, I had to, like, we call it data densification. I had to get in a new sheet with the. Let me see if I can share the data set. Can you see the data set now?
No, I can't.
Okay, just give me a minute. Yeah, I think you can see it now. Is it visible, Anshul?
Yes, yes, it is visible.
Okay, awesome. So for this particular data set, there was data for only 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so this was the data set. They had a revenue or expense column, or a revenue or expense group, and the business lines. There were three business lines in this. So what I needed to do for data modeling and for that particular chart, the waterfall chart, was I created a column called point, and I just needed 1 to 20 numbers up to 1 to 20 for data densification, and then did a join for that. Yeah, using a relationship a calculation.
All right.
So that was the main data modeling that I needed to do. Since the data set was, as I told you, these data sets are relatively like simple and easy to use for in a easy to use format. You don't have to really do a lot of data cleaning or modeling, unless and until you have a very specific chart in mind. Then maybe some densification or something like that would be required.
Yes, yes. One can anyways go and explore the
Definitely.
there's no limit. But yes,
Definitely.
a good point that if the data set comes in an already expected format, and since the data sets are new, it becomes a little easier to play with for especially for beginners.
Yes. Like there are more challenges. Like there is Maven has a monthly challenge, which is also very exciting.
Mm.
But for that, I think there is a little requirement of data modeling. I
Okay.
mean, I've explored it once or twice, so that requires a little more effort.
Mhm.
So yeah, if somebody's starting out, I think this is a good place to start, and then you can always explore. There are, I think, a few more challenges that are being held, and definitely, depending as you advance in your skill level, you can always choose whatever you feel comfortable with. The best part of doing personal projects is that you have the choice. So it's I think it's always a great idea to do something which does not overwhelm you too much, so
Mhm.
that you just don't give up. So start simple and easy, and then you can always advance as you move along your journey.
Of course, yes, I totally agree with you. So this was about the data set for this report. Now, when we come to the design of the report, do you usually create wireframes, or how do you, can you explain how do you approach the designing of dashboards like these?
Yeah. So actually, the first thing that I do is that there is a research involved about the metrics that I need. And depending on the domain that I'm working on, the kind of charts that would best suit. And once I finalize these things, I create obviously a kind of wireframe, or maybe I am actually, I mean, the best way to start, which is always suggested, is that you first draw maybe with a pen and a paper. You just create a wireframe and then move forward from there. But I unfortunately am not so organized, so I just go with the flow. And but I always start with the requirements, like what all charts I would want to see, what are the questions that I want to answer. So at the end of the, uh, I mean, once I'm done with the dashboard, how will it help the stakeholder? So for this particular financial report, because finance is a very specific domain, and I actually interviewed my sister, and I just shared a brief idea about the data set. She's a qualified CA, so I was like, if you have this kind of information, what would want to see in a report. So like she doesn't have much of an idea about Tableau or Tableau dashboards,
Mhm.
but what really helped, what the input that I got from her is like, they need the income statement. That is really important. And also in the data DNA challenge, the requirements they had mentioned that they would want a income statement. And then I asked her, because there was no year over year data here, so I asked her, like, then she was like, if you go with a quarter, that would be great, because most of the financial analysis is done on a quarterly basis. Like, they review their quarterly reports and then, make a plan for the next quarter. That's usually how it is done in the industry, if I understand it right. And then I also asked her, like, for uh, like income statement, would you want a consolidated one, or do you want a breakdown for each business line in separate pages? So she was like, for the income statement, a filter works fine, but for the other KPIs and for the candle chart, she would prefer a side-by-side view, because filter is difficult for her, like to move to and fro, and check things out. So the design idea, a lot of it I got from her input as a stakeholder. Like, I just asked her to volunteer to be a stakeholder for me, and she was very sweet to do that. So that is how the design idea, like the basic, was created. And then, of course, I use Figma. I think I can share. Can you see it?
No.
Oh, okay. You can't?
No.
Just give me a minute. I think I'll just reshare.
No.
Yes, I think you can see it now, right? Okay, amazing. So yeah, so I create a, a kind of wireframe or a background image like this in Figma.
Mm-hmm.
So this one was for the income statement, and
Okay.
this one was for the main page, the executive summary.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So
and
this,
also the report and the glossary was created here, this way here.
all right. Okay.
So
Okay.
Figma is an amazing tool, and it's extremely easy to use once you get a hang of it. I mean, it sounds daunting if you're just starting out,
Yeah.
but it's quite easy to use once you get a bit used to it. But a lot of people use PowerPoint or Canva. I think anything works as long as you're comfortable with it.
Right. Right. Um, did you ever notice any performance issues while using these backdrops in your dashboard using Figma or Canva, any other tool that we have?
No, I haven't as such faced any performance issue because of the background image. But I think the key is not to use too many calculated fields or too many, table calculations, or especially LODs. They say that you should avoid it. And also, one Tableau actually has a very amazing feature. Just let me, I don't know if you can, are you able to see my
No, I'm not.
screen now?
No.
Just give me. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Awesome. So you can go to server and run an optimizer.
Yeah.
And then you'll get a brief about all the things that you did right, which you've passed, and you just can make a note of it for your future reference. And also, if there's something which needs a review,
Mm-hmm.
like if there are a lot of number of sheets are there, so we can hide all the visible sheets once the report is ready. And if anything needs, you need to take action. If anything is not a best practice, then this is a great place, to get an idea, and then you can, if possible, make the changes so that your workbook or your dashboard is faster.
Right, right. This was
It's not
introduced in
facing it.
one of the recent upgrades. Earlier, we didn't have this.
Yes,
Have to run the performance recording earlier and then see which component is taking longer to execute.
longer. Yeah, so definitely, I mean, all these changes make things easier, and Tableau is always adding new features and developments. So that's amazing.
Yeah. So Arshi, can you tell us how long did it take for you to conclude this dashboard?
So for this particular dashboard, it took me around a little more than 2 weeks
Okay.
from getting hold of the data set, then exploring the data set, and then finalizing the KPIs and deciding what exactly the design that I want, and then finally creating everything. So yeah, that is the time it took me. And actually, it took me a lot of time to create the income statement, because
Mhm.
that is the one which required a lot of, there was a lot of manual work required here. So this is the one that took me a lot of time.
All right. Okay. And how do you come up with the color palette, the formatting of the dashboard, especially?
The color palettes, mostly, like, for business dashboards, I prefer sticking to blues, grays, and unless and until it's for a specific company and they have brand guidelines, so then that makes things easy. And while finalizing the design, or if the way I want it to look, I usually go to Pinterest and look for some interesting design ideas. And then sometimes, even for the color palette, I just go and check out what are the options, and just pick
That's
up
a great
something if I really like it.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. All right. Arshi, would you like to share some of the sources from where um, beginners can source challenges for their practice?
Yeah, so actually, there are a lot of Tableau has quite a few data sets which are available, which can be used. The Sample Superstore is a great place to start for somebody who's making their first dashboard, because there are so many resources and already existing dashboards. So it kind of makes it easy. There is also the real world fake data, uh, which is again a great starting point. As I mentioned, there is this data DNA challenge. So, like, you can do it monthly, and I think that's an amazing way to, if you have a little more, you are a little more confident, and you know that you can create a dashboard from start, from the scratch, without any existing resources. So that is there. And if you are very interested in a bit of, data modeling and data cleaning, and uh, are willing to work with a little more complicated data set, then I think Maven has some amazing data sets. So they also have archived data sets. So I think all these places are great
uh,
if you want to start. I mean, for every level,
For
we
every level.
can do that.
And
Yeah.
anyways, we have Workout Wednesday and Makeover Monday challenges.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, definitely. Makeover Monday and Workout Wednesday, there is, I think, B2BB. So there are a lot of challenges, community challenges that Tableau has. So if you get hold of the Datafam weekly roundup, they have a mention of all the existing challenges. The ones that I mentioned are specific if you are want to work on a dashboard,
Hmm. Yes. Okay.
like yeah, so
All right. So
like a business dashboard
we'll drop the links of
to be.
all the websites in our post so that it would help the users who are seeking out for practice data sets, and a place where they can go and check out the what other people have been doing. They can drive inspirations from. I hope this would be helpful. So yes, we conclude this session. Do you have anything else to share? It was amazing connecting with you here.
Yeah, that same here, Achal. It was amazing talking to you, and thank you so much for asking me to share this whole process. And only one thing I would like to add is, like, if you are starting out, if you're creating your first dashboard, you can always go to Tableau Public, and you can check out the existing dashboards, especially if it's a data set which is like been used a lot before. And even for a if even if it is a starting point, you are creating a using a data set which is not very, like, being used very commonly, even then there are a lot of existing dashboards, in Tableau Public, which will help you, which will be like a guiding light. So like even for this particular dashboard, actually there is an inspiration which is linked to the dashboard. You can go and check that out. So I think that is a great place to start
Yeah, yeah,
for
I
inspiration.
agree. Yes. All right. So we conclude this session over here. If you have any questions, please drop your questions in the comments and we'll try to publish answers. I'll try to get the answers from Arshi and we'll try to answer your queries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Archer.
Thanks.
Thank you. It was lovely talking to you.
Same here. Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Okay.